What's going on, family? We are back with brand new Katerina and Nicole today, and I'm very stoked. The song is called Ladybug. There's an official music video along with this as well, so that is pretty fucking awesome. And if you are not familiar with Katerina and Nicole, then make sure you go check her out, go give her some love and support, and tell her how much you love and appreciate the music that and the art that she is creating. Today, we're getting into Ladybug, and I did see that there was a little bit of a description in the description of what the song was about. Ladybug is more than a song. It's a wound learning how to breathe again. Born from the chaos of loss, this track dives into the unbearable silence left behind when someone you love is suddenly gone. Well, damn. That's never really easy, right? It's about the questions that never get answered, the weight of misunderstanding, and the quiet guilt that lingers in the aftermath. Every lyric is a confrontation of grief, raw, unfiltered, and honest. But within that darkness, Ladybug transforms pain into something tangible, something loud, something alive. This is how I processed it, not by letting go, but by turning it into sound, into emotion you could feel with your chest. Blending crushing metalcore energy with deeply personalized storytelling. This track was produced in West Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada, and brought to life and visually in the haunting beautiful island of Nakos. Oh man, don't kill me over there, people from Greece. I'm an ignorant American, I don't know. The contrast between sonic intensity and cinematic scenery mirrors the inner conflict of the heart of the song. If you've ever lost someone, if you've ever wished you could say one more thing, this is for you. Turn it up, feel everything. Well, right there, it tells you off the rip that this song is about going through grief and loss. I'm not sure who the individual is that she's specifically talking about, but I feel like we might be able to get a little bit more relatability probably in the song, and it's probably a little bit more open to anybody who's really gone through those feelings and emotions, right? Like the who is not necessarily really important in the overall grand scheme of the world, right? Relatability is always a factor, right? So let's go ahead and check out Katerina Nicole, Ladybug. And whatever beautiful place in Greece, wherever you pronounce that.
You on the window pane, wings like whispers caught in the rain, crimson dots, a fragile flame, gone before I learned your name. You never made a sound when you fell, just a silent farewell.
Like, I'm wondering if the Ladybug specifically is something that is very like personal to like her individual story with that individual, right? Like if that was like a thing, right? I know that ladybugs in at least some parts of the world are considered like a good luck thing, right? Like if a ladybug like lands on you, then that's supposed to be considered like a sign of good luck, right? So like I think there's a lot of beauty in ladybugs, and so like even the correlation and the tie to that of a ladybug in general, I think is just a really unique and interesting focal point, right? There's a lot of like ties together that she's been using like lyrically, with the wings and things like that the Ladybugs have to tie it all together. She's wearing like the black and red outfit, which also again ties to that same aesthetic, right? With the black and red with the Ladybug, right? So a lot of that is tied together with that concept. So I think that's really sick. Let's let her click on the second verse here. I like the fact that she was basically like the second verse started with that whole like the light still dances essentially on, where it's like life still moves on no matter what happens. That's kind of the harsh reality when you go through like death, is that death is never easy, no matter how complicated it can be. It's never an easy thing. And I had recently gone through this in my life where death had struck me in a way that I was not like I guess, and like prepared for. And I feel like again it's difficult because the best advice I can give to really anybody is you're not supposed to feel any way that you're supposed to feel other than how you feel when death comes knocking at your door, no matter what it looks like. And it's difficult, the reality of how the world still spins when it seems like it's all crumbling down, and it feels like everything around you, like how can the world keep going with the way that just everything feels in the moment? But the sun's gonna come up tomorrow. Again, I hate the idea of the sun will come out tomorrow songs, but the premise itself is really holds true when it comes to like what we should feel, right? Is that the sun is gonna come out tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a new day, and the world's gonna keep spinning. But it's really hard to understand and come to that reality when you're dealing with grief, and when you're dealing with loss, and the fact that you're never going to be able to have that moment again with that individual. Or really even just like with like a pet and things like that, right? Where it's like, again, death is never easy. Loss is never easy. It's something that we all go through in the human experience. And it's never easy for anybody. It's a very complicated thing. And it brings out tons of emotions out of all of us this way, right? And again, there's no right or wrong, right? So I think that it's really cool that like when she put like in the description, right, that like in order to help her heal and grow, she put those feelings and emotions into a song. And I think it's that is art, that is beautiful. And that is part of the process, right? It is. I find so much more. What's the word? It makes me feel so much more relatable to, I think, the song, kind of, especially hearing and seeing in the description the story behind it, right? Where it's like you almost can't help but find the relation when you know where the art was inspired from. You know what I mean? Again, some of the details are not there, but those are the details that aren't necessarily important, right? They're enough there to make sure that we're following along with what we need to be. Like with her holding the coffee and stuff, right? Cried in the mirror. Like, I feel like a lot of this is symbolizing these are the things you do every day. And like every day, there's going to be the next day. And that is part of life, is being able to move on with the reality that that's no longer the thing. And it's difficult to face that. So I feel like you're getting a lot of the depiction of that in the video as well. Found a spark, a softer strength inside this dark. You are my ladybug. Why did you go away? Watch you break in the palm of my hand. You are my ladybug. Why did you go away? Oh my god. I really like how there's like a soft, like hardcore like element to it, right? Where it's not is there a ladybug emoji? I don't know if there is. Oh my god, there totally is. There totally is. All right, you gotta do leave 2 because 3 is max. 4 overly aggressive. Overly aggressive. Always like your own comment. It helps the artist, not yourself, because obviously you're not the one on the video. What was I gonna say? Again, wherever this is in the world, it's a pretty gorgeous place in Greece. The video itself, I think it looks really great. I think it adds a lot to the storytelling of the song specifically. What was it about to say? The soft coreness of it. There's like a. It's not necessarily like some overly aggressive song. It's not super slow and sad either. Where it has a lot of the emotion, I guess, in the lyrical content and the singing side, but not so much of like the music itself. So I think it sounds sick. The drums, I think it sound really cool. And I like the fact that we didn't have some crazy hardcore breakdown moment. It just wouldn't have felt right, you know. I feel like all of that like kind of tied really cool. If you're gonna put like that kind of concept or this kind of concept of this kind of song over like it being like a little bit more of like a hardcore kind of track, I think that kind of like helps like a little bit of tell like the story of like the chaos of the music itself, the feelings. That the music is kind of like a one part of the story with the chaos of like the anger that you feel, the frustration that you feel with all that, like, you know, in the when she's like when she made the comment about what's the last thing she says, like, you know, and I'm the one who's now confused, where the feelings of loneliness that you feel, like you almost like get mad at people, like it's like they left you on purpose. And I feel like so many people feel this, especially when it comes to like relatives or people that you like depend on, right? Whether that be like a partner and or like I said, like, you know, maybe a parental figure too, right? Where it's like somebody that you're like constantly depending on or you have depended on. So when death happens, you almost feel like they've left you this way. Like it was a choice when it's never really that's not the choice, but it still kind of feels like that, where it's like, how could you leave me here alone without you? And like I said, I feel like that the music side of that kind of like helps kind of tell a lot of those feelings and frustrations when you tie that to like some of the lyrical content in the song specifically. I think that was all my thoughts. I feel like maybe I just want to make sure that I feel like every time like I end any kind of review, I think of like a million other things that I wanted to say in the moment. I think that's all I had, friends. Make sure you go support Katerina and Nicole. Make sure you go tell her how much you love and appreciate the art that she creates. And yeah, go leave a comment. Go like the video. Go send it to somebody who's ever dealt with loss before, you know? Yeah, until next time, until next video, be kind to a stranger. Tell somebody you love them. And if you haven't joined the Foxtrot family, there's always room for you.